And it was just yesterday here on this program that we told you the Cardinals are operating on a different timeline than a lot of the other teams in this cycle. And the one advantage that the Cardinals you can squint and find in this coaching search was the Cardinals could afford to be patient. They could use the fact that they are considered one of, if not the worst opening in this cycle to their advantage. And that advantage is if all these other jobs fill up while Mike LaFleur and Chris Shula and Clint Kubiak are still coaching, then the Cardinals could be one of the last jobs available when their seasons are done. And now all of a sudden, the Cardinals job maybe looks a little bit more intriguing, a little bit more appetizing, because it may be the only one left. Patience. Outlast everybody else in this search. That was what we said yesterday could be an advantage that the Cardinals could deploy. And you have the Baltimore Ravens yesterday making a move, jumping at the opportunity to hire Jesse Minter because they didn't want the Raiders to beat them to him. Because the Raiders have the first overall pick. They have a ton of cap space. They can take their time. The Ravens, they got to move fast. John Harbaugh's been there forever. They haven't conducted searches for coaching staffs in a really long time. They don't want to be left with a downgrade at coach, a downgrade on their coaching staff, and feeling like they made a mistake. We talk about windows in sports, and I think windows are sometimes a fallacy. I think windows are sometimes used as an excuse for why seasons fail, but we can all admit that Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, they're not going to have endless shots at this. So they couldn't afford to get to the end of the road here and be left wondering who's going to be our head coach. The Cardinals, considering it's the worst opening according to some, and considering some of the lead candidates, they can afford to wait. And if you have to hire Vance Joseph, or if you have to hire Matt Nagy, if you have to hire Arthur Smith, then so be it. But you can outlast everybody and hope that maybe Mike LaFleur is still out there. Hope that maybe Clint Kubiak's playing in the Super Bowl and Buffalo doesn't want to wait that long. Pittsburgh doesn't want to wait that long. That the Browns, after getting the Heisman from Jesse Minter, decide, hey, no one's going to interview for this gig. Let's just promote Jim Schwartz and call it a day. Then all of a sudden, 5 openings becomes 4. And then maybe the Raiders move to go get somebody. Then 4 becomes 3. And you see how very quickly the Buffalo Bills are interviewing Phillip Rivers today for their head coach opening. These things can move fast. So another domino falls, and mostly outside of Robert Saleh at Tennessee, all of these dominoes have lined up for the Cardinals to actually hit a home run here.